should I ah
Hey,
understand.
bro.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
I'm fine. Yesterday was my birthday, so
Oh
really fine.
shit!
Yeah.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
What did you do to celebrate?
Now 24. I did nothing really that special. I was working. I I'm a speaker, so I had a speech,
Wow,
and but I'm on Friday. I'm going to celebrate with
my man,
some friends.
my
That's
man.
that will be fun.
Fuck yeah, mate. Like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
views in Germany. Oh, dude, you're making me jealous. I'll be looking at Skyscanner for some flights in a minute, trying to come over.
Come around, come around.
A gate crash will just knock on your door. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? I was like, you said beers. Like, I made it. You know,
But not only beers. I I'm looking forward to some other stuff. So like beers and other alcoholic drinks, maybe.
things happen, mate. You know, things spiral. You know.
I I just want to have a nice, relaxed evening with my friends
Yeah,
because
for sure.
not nowadays you've got that very poorly, not enough actually. So when it's my birthday, then I'll try to have a nice day, relaxing day, just speak with some friends, play
Mm.
some games, and just drink beer.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, there's definitely there's so much beauty to be found in like just some downtime with your mates,
Yeah,
just, like
yeah,
talking shit, drinking, or even not drinking, you know, just like coffee or whatever if you
yeah,
don't drink, just like hanging out with your mates, you know, and just kind of like talking some absolute garbage. Like it's so fun.
yeah. It's the garbage. Real talk. It's like when you start on a topic and get to talk, and after half an hour you look up and like, man, why are we on that topic? We started there and now we're here.
Yeah.
How the fuck? But it's so nice.
Yeah, man. It's healing, you know, it really is. Like
Yeah,
I think comedy heals all wounds, you know. I think and you usually end up saying something a little bit left field and people start laughing, you know, and it's just a good time, man, you know.
yeah. Humor heals. That's nice to say. Yeah,
It does indeed. But brother, you
yeah.
got a wicked story, man. So do you wanna start dissecting that and telling us some things?
I try. I try. Yeah, I'm a quadriplegic. I had a surf injury accident. I've got a surf accident and injured my neck. I broke my neck just by falling off my surfboard and hitting the sand ground. It was like a 1 meter fall, maybe 1.5 meter fall, but it's enough. And I I surfed nothing special, not even a shark attack or a cliff or something dramatic. It's just my final boss was was the sand. Yeah. And I fell and I hit my head on the ground, but it was not like it wasn't that much pain. It was just pain like I bumped my head and ouch, but that's it. Um, and that's why I didn't realize that I I heard much more. So I started paddling with my feet again from my mind, and I couldn't look. It was all dark because of the salty water, and I was spin around from the wave, and actually after 5 seconds, I just realized I'm not moving at all. Um, and I was a bit confused, and then I started swimming with my hands. You can also swim with your hands, so I started that. And I don't know, do you know these Asian cats that move their hand?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that is the one gesture I could do. I couldn't move my arms beyond me, left or right, nothing, just that movement. And yeah, I was floating on the surface of the water, and I face down, so my head was underwater, and I just thought, okay, how can I get out here? I was with my friends in the water, but we had like a bit of distance so that we don't hurt each other. But actually, I needed to breathe, or I need to scream for help. Either one of them, or one of that. So I started like moving in the rhythm. So like I try to push myself, my head out of the water, and that worked. But I missed one detail. We had huge waves there. So my head was out of the water, and the second my head was out, I faced the first wave again. So there was no time for breathing. There was no time for shouting for help. And after that, I thought again and was like, okay, there is no other option. The best option there is just to keep calm and don't move a muscle, because muscles need oxygen. And I got a very few, not much of it. So I laid there, and you need to imagine that it was like completely dark, the salty water. Your ears are very, very silenced because of the water. You just hear the rhythm of the waves, and you're searching for these unrhythmic running in the water from a friend of mine. And yeah, then I was waiting. And when you're holding your breath, the 8 seconds before you need to breathe, you just realize, okay, I got like 8 seconds left, and then I have to breathe. And I was on the starting point of that. So I wasn't really drowning on that point, but I was close to drowning. So but in that point, a friend came by, swapped me on my back, put me on a surfing board, and then the whole trip started from the first hospital to the second to the third. Then I've got a 24-hour transportation to Germany, because I didn't say that I was in Chile. It was my first time, not in Europe, holiday in Europe. It was just the first time in Chile. And yeah, I had a 24 transportation to Germany, and stayed in a hospital there for 5 more months. And after that, I got 1 month for rehab. And after 7 months, I was home again.
Wow.
But then I'm a quadriplegic thing. So it's like C7. I don't know how you pronounce that. It's like the seventh bone. Yeah, it's that. So it's very huge. So also my fingers doesn't work, not as good as they used to be. But for quadriplegic, I've got really much muscle function. So it's enough for me. But I was very lucky. But yeah, that's the story. It was like 1 second. 1 second. You don't need a huge drama. It's just 1 second and sand. That's it.
That's absolutely crazy, brother. Like, something that you wouldn't even thought about happening before, right? And we probably take things for granted, being able to just kind of fling ourselves around and get on a surfboard and, leave the country and do whatever, right? And then just see you later, like kind of night, lights out scenario, and you face down in the water and you're like, I can't move. Like I do not have the ability to shift myself over. And that's crazy, man.
Yeah. So you can't really plan that. It's like not, you don't have to do a very huge adrenaline sport like skydiving or something dangerous. I got to know so many other injuries, or people who got these injuries from falling by walking on the sidewalk, just sitting there. I got to know someone who sneezed he sneezed so bad and hit his head. Now he's a wheelchair user too. So you can't plan that. It's not like you're safe. You're never
No.
safe. And so just do all the things you want to do right now, because you never know.
Yeah. So what are the mental processes that you go through after that to keep yourself level? You know, because that being taken out of your hands, right? And kind of just been dealt to you right that. What do you go through to keep yourself on the straight and narrow and be like, okay, brother, like this is what you got, but we have
Yeah.
to be able to keep going forward.
Um, I spoke to many other wheelchair users, and while talking, I realized that I was very, very lucky, because I didn't had like a depression, or I didn't fall into a hole and don't can't get out. There were times I really was sad and frustrated, but that's not like a depression. It's like, yeah, it's a bad day. That's it. And but I never had these really these phase where it was all bad. I never had
Suicidal.
thoughts,
Yeah.
suicidal thoughts, never. I thought about it, so like, but it was I couldn't do that to my family and my friends, and actually it wasn't, it was never an option, never. um yeah, and I thought about it and thought, what did I do different? I just kept going and I did it my way, and I didn't had these depressions. What did I do different? And I thought about it, and there are a few things that came to my mind, what I may have different, what I may have done different. Um, the first thing would be, maybe even before the accident, I was like a very happy, optimistic child all the time. I was one of that students who came in 7 o'clock in the morning, was like, "Good morning, everybody," and oh well, shut up, come on, please. It's in the morning. I was that guy. So some left when they saw me. So like, oh no, not in the morning. Um, yeah, and that's maybe a good base from where I started. And the second thing is, I it sounds funny, but I wasted time by playing a mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
And that, so I didn't start thinking about all the things that may be, that will be, that could be. That was especially in the first 4 days. After that, I got a like kind of diagnosis. So because you can't really figure that out. You can't say, okay, you're paralyzed for the rest of your life. Not in the 4 days. You can't say that. Um, Not even after half a year, you can say you'll be like that forever. You can't say that. So, but even before the diagnosis, there's no need to think so many different questions. What will be? What can I do? So the best thing will be just to distract yourself, play mobile game, and pass down the time,
Mm.
and until you get some facts. So okay, I know that will be that. And after the 4th day, after 2 operations, I got like a kind of diagnosis where the doc came by and said to me, well, could be that you maybe never walk again. And I was like, okay, what does could be mean? Do you have like some facts, some numbers, anything? He was like, that's hard, um, because it changes all the time. You
Yeah.
can't point that down. And but he said, okay, 90 to 10, that you will never walk again. And even these last 10%, you can split that up from just wiggling your toes to walking again. So actually the diagnosis was not so good. So it was clear that I will never walk again. And then he left, and I thought by myself, okay, that's kind of weird because I'm not really that sad. I would like to be sad. That's one of the moments in life where you get this diagnosis, you will never walk again. So yeah, you're allowed to be sad in that moment. You can cry. It's completely normal to cry. And I wanted to cry, but I was not able to. And 4 days later, I recognized why. Because I partied with the nurses, had a little chit chat, and we listened to music and laughed. And the doc came to me and said, "Okay, you're kind of in a good mood, so you don't need the medication to be happy." I don't know how you say that. It's
Antidepressant, yeah.
Antidepressant. You don't need that, isn't it? And I'm like, wait a minute. Since which point on my journey was I on the antidepressants?
Antidepressants, yeah.
Antidepressants. And he said, like, yeah, we do that all the time when there are really bad injuries, so that you don't fall that deep in the beginning. But I was very surprised, and I said, just I don't need them right now. Please don't give me them anymore. And so I was kind of funny and maybe kind of helpful, because after the dog left, after the diagnosis, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, after playing handy games, mobile games, I wanted to write something, and they gave me like a pen and a board, and I was thinking, what can I use in the future now? Okay, my legs will not come back, but my arms are like, could come back. I don't know, but I can work with my head, with my brain, and my mouth, because I love talking. I'm talking a lot, and I love people. I love when people laugh. I love it. I kind of gives me something. And yeah, I made a plan. At first, I'm here. After 6 days, my parents will come. The 3 days, I'll be in Germany. And then I'm going to give me 1 year to be the best option of myself that I can get, physically, mentally, theoretically. And I'm just focusing on myself. And after that, I'm going to be a comedian, because I love it. On stages, I speak. And I love when people laugh. And also the first joke would be my would be the fact that I'm a stand-up comedian. That would be a good entrance, maybe. And I started writing jokes down while my therapy, all stuff that happens that was funny. And yeah, I started. And the main goal, or the trick in that specific case, was I aimed on a target. I've got a plan. I know what to do right now, and I'm doing it. And while moving, I can't get stuck or like get lost. I'm just moving, just keep going. And while doing that, I realized, okay, maybe it's not the comedy factor that I want to focus on. Maybe it's the speaker job I want to do, I want to aim on. And yeah, because of all the movement, also all misdirections, and I did some stuff that was never really necessary, or was yeah. And but because of that things, I learned so much. I got to know so much people. I got to know something about myself, about the jobs. And yeah, and now I'm like a speaker. in German. So, um, but yeah, and right now I'm living my dream,
Wow.
and I'm on stages, and I really want to um, change something. That's my mission right now.
This is incredible, man. You know, being able to take that silver lining out of anything and kind of be thrust down there, and you're just like, all right, well, you kind of got two options here, and pardon the pun here, you can either sink or you can swim. You
Yeah,
know, you're either going to find a way, all right,
yeah,
you can figure out a way out of this hole and create a life for yourself, right?
yeah,
Or you're not, and you're just going to give up and you're going to lie down and be like, oh, okay, I'm fucked. Like, see you later. That's me done. It's like, well, it really is A or B, you know, and
yeah,
you chose to go B, and we're like, no, I'm gonna get up and take what I can from this. And I think people can take a lot from the comedic side, you know, just like, wow, you know, I failed. You know, a lot of the time, whatever happens, if I fail exams all the time, like I'm so bad, I'm so dyslexic, it's an issue, right? Like
yeah,
honestly, and you just got to be able to crack a joke about it, you know, even something so fucked up, right? You've got to be able to laugh about it and just take it as it is, you know, and be like,
yeah.
well, you know what, we can either take the good out of this or really fixate on the negative. All right. And
Exactly.
that second one is only ever going to go down a negative path. So how
Yeah,
about we just laugh for 3 minutes and then we
yeah,
can, get our ass in
and
gear and start going
push
forward.
push yourself,
Yeah,
push
man.
yourself up. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So sorry,
That's all right. We're back.
we're back. Um, I just wanted to add that I had a lot of help in this
Oh, of course.
process.
You know,
It
it
it was
takes a
it was
village, right?
not, yeah, for sure, but it was not all my fault that I'm now back again and I'm good. I had so much help from the nurses, from my friends and family and so on. So yeah, I needed to add that.
Yeah, for sure, man. It really does take a village, you know, like I think self-made is a term thrown around a lot, and I think a lot of people, have done a hell of a lot of things on their own, and I'm sure you and I are the same of this and kind of go into that category. But at the same time, like human being needs two people to come into the world. So
Yeah.
nobody's ever truly self-made, like somewhere along the line, you've kind of brushed shoulders with people. And I think
Mhm.
the communication, the community between human beings, I think that's what makes the world spin, man. Like at the end of the day, like if take us out of the equation, yeah, the world's going to be fine. Okay, great. But how do we create progress and mutual progression and everybody helping and happiness and whatever we're going for? It's the combination between people, right? It's this kind of ebb and flow between two human beings have been like, okay, let's turn all our cards over so they're face up. I'm like, well, I'm carrying like a joker and then also a two of spades. So I got a shit hand. What are we going to do about it? You got
Yeah.
pocket aces. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're going to win this one, but how do we come together and contribute to each other so then
And
everybody
the
can progress, right?
and the funny thing is sometimes you don't know exactly what you can get out of something. Um, just like the butterfly effect.
Yeah,
I
fuck yeah.
I've I got that so much on the road. There were people who helped me and I couldn't help them back, but it was fine. But after 1 year or maybe later, there was the opportunity that I could help them back because they helped me get me up. Um, I can now help them in return, and they just did it, um, and didn't know what they can get out of it, and it doesn't matter at all. But after 1 or 2 years, I helped them in return, and that's I've I experienced that so much in the last 3 years, um, and it's truly incredible. how something like that can grow, yeah, it's so nice.
Oh
That's
yeah,
also
man.
one point, maybe.
I think we have to be able to pay it forward,
Yeah,
of just like, I think karma really is a thing, but we all need to buy into it,
yeah, yeah,
of just like, hey, I'm just gonna help you out. Why? Well, it's the right thing to do, right? And I'm also gonna love you and give a shit about you just because you're existing. All right.
yeah,
And then eventually you're gonna do the same thing when you have an opportunity to for somebody else. And then that's just gonna
yeah.
go round and round. And I
And
that's
and maybe that other person helps you
yeah, yeah,
instead. So it's like a
for sure,
circle of life.
man. Amazing.
Yeah,
So
never mind.
what do you what do you speak about in your talks?
I'm speaking about my disability. So many people don't know anything about wheelchair users at all. I don't want to blame them,
No,
because
no, no.
why? But it's like um, I'm on stages and I'm talking about how my body works, what I can feel, what I can't feel, how he reacts to different things, and also, of course, how we want to be treated. Actually, it's not different at all.
Mm-hmm.
Many people just see us and see the wheelchair and think like, oh my God, we need to be careful because he's injured and he's such a poor little boy. Oh no. But that's not the case. Um, I'm not out of sugar. I'm the same person, just not on my feet anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm just treat me like everybody else, not more or not less, just like all the other people. And I really want to show them my side of the disability,
Yep.
my world, like wheelchair rugby. I'm playing wheelchair rugby in the national team, and nobody ever has heard of wheelchair rugby. And just when you just Google it, when you look at that sport, you kind of understand that we are not out of sugar. Um, it's messed up, and it's so fun because in that game we like we push boundaries. We
Savage, mate.
Yeah, it's so nice, and nobody knows about that sport. And when you see us in the real world, out of in the streets, you just think like, oh my God, that poor boy.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. um but it's not. I
It's
live my
crazy,
life.
man.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I just want to show them my side, so everybody knows about each other's side, so we can live together with no more boundaries, and we just can work on a normal level. And yeah, that's why that's and motivation. I experienced a kind of good story, and some on some points I think differently now, and I really want to pass it further. Everybody who wants to hear it knows it, and remembers it. Maybe don't want to hear it, and but some want to hear it, and try it. And maybe I push them up. Oh, it's so bad right now. Maybe I can encourage them to do stuff they didn't know they can.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
100%, brother. Like, yeah, I think for me personally, anybody who tells the voice in their head that tells them they can't do something, anyone who turns around to that voice and says, go fuck yourself, and proves themselves wrong, right? And
yeah,
breaks through their own barriers, whatever that is, whether that's drawing a picture, whether that's, running a marathon, or whether that's like, hey, actually, yeah, I broke my neck and I can't move my legs now, but I'm also not going to sit on my ass and do nothing.
yeah,
I'm gonna do something with my life, and I
yeah,
think that in whatever capacity that is for each individual is so inspirational and also so beautiful. You're just like, oh, I'm just coming out of a lockdown and I've been in the dumps, you know, like mentally I've been kind of going through a bit of a dark spot. And then you get up one day and be like, fuck this. Like I've had enough. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do something now. And you start walking around the block.
Yeah.
And then you come
Yeah.
back in and you do something, right? And you're like, that's it. I'm gonna start off by walking around the block twice. And you're like, you know how badass that is? Because everybody's got an angel and a devil on their shoulder. And
Yeah.
sometimes that devil starts speaking and sometimes he starts shouting. But guess
Yeah.
what? Being able to turn around and give him one of these and give him a middle finger and be like,
Yeah.
I am my best friend as well as my worst enemy. But right now, I'm a bad motherfucker and I'm going to be able to go out and do things. That fires me up, man. That's so, so cool. You know, like a lady just kind of, old lady just getting up and down off the floor. That's her fitness, getting up and down
Yeah.
off the floor. You're like,
Yeah.
that's amazing. You do that. You know, somebody snatching 200 kilos, great. You do that. Somebody drawing or writing or whatever, right? And you're just like, that's badass. Or working
Just
three
do it.
jobs. It's so
Just
cool, man.
just do it and try new things. But because actually sometimes we think, okay, we can't do that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do that. I never started it. I'm bad at it. I don't want to do it. And yeah, because I would be bad in the beginning. Yeah, everyone is, but try it, start it, and continue and try to experience. Am I good at it? Does it help me? Is it healthy? Is it good for my mental health?
Mm-hmm.
And just continue, keep doing it, and just start. Starting is the hardest part, I think. To,
Yeah, but it's also the one with no expectation. You know, you don't have
for
to be
some,
good. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, sure.
you,
But we ourselves sometimes uh, make us ourselves this challenge
yes,
to
we
be
do.
like, okay, I'm starting it and I'll be good at it, because we all have to be good in everything we do. And no, that's not right.
That's
Just
because
do it,
we
and
we idealize the outcome too much. And you know, in school,
yeah,
like it's like, oh, you got an A, or you scored a goal, or you won the game. And it's like, yeah, great, but that individual might have put in fuck all effort, right? And now you're just
yeah,
rewarding zero effort, right? And someone might have just lost. Yeah, okay, granted. Like if you lose, you lose. Sorry, mate, you got the L. Like you're gonna have to take that on the chin. But at the same time, you have to applaud the input. It's all about the input. You know, yeah, we don't live in an input only world. Like, if I don't get the job, I'm not going to get the salary, right?
yeah,
But at the
yeah,
same time, I've got to be able to turn around and be like, I actually put in all I could there. So I'm going to leave everything else now and I'm going to continue on somewhere else. And that's what I'm going to focus on is just what I can put in. Whatever the outcome is, fuck it. It doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
You got to
Just
take that
start.
expectation off yourself, man. Like it's an absolute killer. It can cripple you. You know,
Yeah,
if I expect something like it'll just ruin you, man. Like it gets in the way of relationships, it gets in the way of business, it gets in the way of fitness, it gets in the way of everything. Like you see it, I coach in the gym, right? Mainly because it's kind of like in your face and you
hmm
see it straight
hmm
away. And you know, oh, I expect to be able to come in and bench press 100 kilos, like you know, whoever, like every man comes in, right? And you're like, that's gonna crush you, dude. Like
yeah,
you've never benched in your life. Yeah, but every man can just like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. You got to earn that right, mate. You got to you got to come in tirelessly day in and day out and earn it. I don't walk into your job and just be like, oh yeah, I'm the manager now. It's like because I don't know how to do it, bro. You
yeah,
know, you got to earn that right. Get rid of
yeah,
those expectations,
for sure.
brother. Have you got more time? Because I'm conscious we've only got 2 minutes left on the Zoom call.
Yeah, I've I've got more time, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah,
you want to do this again?
for sure.
All right, let's start up another thing. I'm gonna go brew a tea and we'll get stuck in because I got some questions I want to ask you.
Sure.
I'm man.
So see you in
All right. See you
a couple
in
of minutes.
5 minutes. Just join the same link.
All right. See
Part
you.
two coming up, everybody. See you in a minute.